bilinear transformation. In the bilinear transformation, we got the relation that is, what is the relation we got? S is equal to 2 by T into 1 minus Z inverse by 1 plus Z inverse. Okay, it is given this relation. Now we have to check whether this bilinear transformation is satisfying the properties of the transformation or not. That means whether the left hand side poles are exactly mapping inside the unit circle or not. That we will test it. So before that, let me convert this. Let me get the relation for sigma plus j omega. So write in these terms. So for this, I will substitute z is equal to r into e power j omega in this equation. Then I will separate the real part and imaginary part. So I will get what is the real part and imaginary part. So for mapping and all, it will be helpful for me. We will do that. From this, t by 2 into 1 minus r into e power minus j omega divided by r inverse by 1 plus r inverse into e power minus j omega. Now what we do is take LCM. This will give you t by 2 into 1 by r e power j omega. So if you take LCM, it will come to this side. R into e power j omega minus 1 by 1 means 1 plus, sorry, r into e power j omega plus 1. Okay. This is equal to, here e power j omega can be written as cos omega plus j sin omega. We will write that. So r cos omega plus j r sin omega. Okay. Minus 1 divided by r cos omega plus j r sin omega plus 1. Okay. Now, what do you want? We need to separate the real part and imaginary part. Real part is r cos omega minus 1 in the numerator, and denominator r cos omega plus 1 is the real part. But this is complex number by complex number. If we have like this, a plus jb by c plus jd, to convert total into one complex number, what to do? We need to take the complex consequent cjd by cjd. If you multiply this, then denominator will become completely the real, and the numerator only will get the complex number. So we can separate the real part and imaginary part. So we'll do that. This is equal to t by 2 by t into r cos omega minus 1 plus j into sin omega divided by r cos omega plus 1 plus j sin omega into r cos omega plus 1 plus j sin omega divided by r cos omega plus 1 plus j sin omega. Okay, done. Now you just multiply this and this part, real part and imaginary parts. We can get in the numerator r real part and real part first. So r cos omega plus 1 into r minus r cos omega minus 1, r cos omega plus 1. Then real part into imaginary part plus j into r cos omega minus 1 into sine omega. Please do it and tell me. Next term is j sine omega into this. So plus j sine omega into r cos omega plus 1. And the last term is minus plus j sine omega plus j sine omega. It will be minus sine omega square because plus j into j will be minus 1 divided by r cos omega plus 1 whole square minus sine square omega. Okay. This is equal to 2 by t into this is r cos omega minus 1 r sin r cos omega plus 1. This is like a minus b into a plus b. So I can write it as a square minus b square. So r square cos square omega minus 1 I can write. Right. Then here minus sin square omega I will keep it here because it is the real part. I will make it close. And then imaginary part. So plus j into total imaginary part I will write. So here r cos omega sin omega minus sin omega, and here plus r cos omega sin omega plus sin omega divided by, this is the real part, divided by denominator, it is a plus b whole square. So a square plus b square plus 2ab 2r cos omega minus sin square omega. So here it is minus j square, we missed it, so it is plus now. It is plus. This is equal to here on the top it is minus plus plus corrected. It is minus. Hmm. Okay, it is correct only in the top. So now we will see this is. Am I correct, Pallavi? Any mistake? Are anybody there? Sirisha, are you doing?
Sir, I'm having breakfast, sir.
Okay, Priyanka, are you doing this?
Sir, correct only, sir.
Okay. So I think somewhere I mistake. I have done mistake. Where have done I am not getting. Something I have done mistake. Here's r sin omega, r sin omega. Here r I missed. Correct. That's what I'm missing. R I missed. So here r. Sin also is having r term. That is the problem. So here also r. Here also r. Here also r square. So here also r square. Denominator also r square. So in the numerator it is, this is okay. Yeah, this is r square sin square omega plus g square. This is r cos omega, r square cos omega sin omega. Then this is minus r sin omega plus r sin r square cos omega sin omega, then this is sin omega, correct? This is okay, correct. Then this can be written as r square cos square omega r square of cos square omega minus sin square omega minus 1 plus j into minus 1 whole r square plus j into r square cos omega, it will give 2 r square cos omega sin omega divided by this r square cos omega square r square sin omega square will be written as r square only, then plus 1 plus 2 r cos omega. 2 r cos omega. Denominator getting corrected, numerator we should simplify further. So 2 r sin omega. So r cos omega should not be there. What happened? Okay, we will simplify here. R square we can take common from everything. R square is a common. Somewhere we did mistake. Yes, anyone? Sirisha, are you following this? I mean, Priyanka, are you doing this? Where we have done mistake? This is into this. This part is correct. Sanjay, are you doing?
Yes, sir. But I got different, sir.
That's what somewhere we did mistake. You tell me what you got.
Sir,
Numerator, denominator is correct. Numerator
sir, r square cos square omega plus
r square cos square omega plus
2jr cos omega sin omega
2jr
cos omega sin omega
cos omega sin omega
minus 1
minus 1
minus r square sin square omega, sir.
minus
R square sin square omega.
sin square omega. Okay, so r square here sin square omega. Here it should be plus. That is the doubt. How we got plus here? We should get plus. Hiyo, wow, wow, I understood where I did the mistake. Here complex conjugate we should take, na? Sandhya?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's
Yes,
complex
sir.
conjugate. There we did mistake. That's why I feel this plus should come here. Plus should come here. Therefore, this into this, then this into minus. So here it will be minus j here. This is a plus. There is a mistake. Please correct it. Here it is a minus. So in the numerator, this is r square minus r square plus r sin omega. Here this is minus and this is plus. Correct only. I mean this is correct only. This is correct only. Yes, then it is correct. Then r square cos omega sin omega, this one is cancelled. Then you have 2r sin omega in the numerator, this total part. And here we get plus. Right, now we will get the correct answer. Yeah. Therefore, here r square cos square omega and r square sin square omega will give r square. And this minus 1 same. This is the real part. And imaginary part, here j Here r sin omega, r sin omega. It will give 2r sin omega. That's it. Denominator is correct only. Therefore, this is equal to, if you separate the real part and imaginary part, real part is 2 by 2 by t into r square minus 1 by 1 plus r square plus 2r cos omega and plus j into t by 2 by t into 2r cos sin omega divided by 1 plus r square plus 2r cos omega. Now we got this imaginary part, real part separated. Therefore, here sigma is equal to this much, r square minus 1 by 1 plus r square plus 2r cos omega, and omega is equal to t by 2r sin omega divided by 1 plus r square plus 2r cos omega. Okay. Therefore, now we will check different cases. The first case, we see what will happen for the poles inside the unit circle. Inside the unit circle means r is less than 1. Less than 1 inside the unit circle. Radius is less than 1. Therefore, what will be this sigma value if r is less than 1? R is less than 1. This r square is less than 1. So this will be negative value. Understanding, Sandhya?
Yes, sir.
This will go to completely negative value. That means this sigma will be less than 0. That means what is happening inside circle? The pole is there in jet plane. In jet plane, mapping the left hand side LHS of S plane. This real part is negative in the S plane. Whatever the imaginary part, real part is negative means it is the left hand side. Similar way, what is the angle? Whatever the angle, if radius is less than 1, this pole is inside the unit circle. So this is exactly mapping, right? Next case, if r is greater than 1 outside the radius, outside the unit circle, outside unit circle in jet plane, what will be the case? Sigma value, Pallavi, sorry, Sandhya, what will be the sigma value for r is greater than 1?
Positive, sir.
R square is too much greater than 1. So it is positive only. Because denominator I am not checking because everything is positive only. So negative or positive depending on only numerator. So sigma is greater than 0. It's positive. That means the pole is lying on the right hand side of S plane. So this property also is satisfying. All RHS side poles are mapping into outside the unit circle. Then next third case, if r is equal to 1, that means on the unit circle, in jet plane, then what will be this value? Sigma value?
0.
0. Sigma value 0 means what? On the imaginary line. It may not be at the origin, but it may be on the imaginary line. Imaginary line in S plane. Therefore, all are exactly mapping. The properties are satisfying. So these transformations we can use for converting the analog filter into digital filter. Now we will see the limitation. There is a limitation here also. So that limitation I will tell you. Limitation of bilinear transformation. So what is the limitation? Here, suppose here we know that omega is equal to t by 2 by t into what we got, r 2r into sine omega divided by 1 plus r square plus 2r cos omega. For r is equal to 1, that means on the unit circle case, this is equal to sigma is equal to t by 2 by t into 2 sine omega divided by 1 plus 1 plus 2 cos omega. That means this means 2 by t into 2 sine omega by 2 plus 2 cos omega. That means 2 into 1 plus cos omega. This 2 cancel. It will give you 2 by t into sine omega by 1 plus cos omega. This can be written as sine omega can be written as again 2 sine omega by 2 cos omega by 2. Correct? Huh? Sine 2a formula. 2
Yes.
sine a cos a. Similar way you can write this. And in the denominator also we can write it as 1 cos omega can be written as cos square omega by 2. Sandhya, correct? Huh? 1 plus cos
Yes, sir.
omega is equal to cos square omega by 2.
Yes, sir.
Now 1 cos cancel. So this is written as 2 cos square omega by 2. So 2 cancel. It will give you 2 by t into tan omega by 2. Okay, this is omega value. Omega is equal to 2 by t. And here for small values of inside, if in reverse, if you take it, if I want omega value, how can I convert this? I will do reverse cross multiplication. Tan omega by 2 is equal to omega t by 2, and omega by 2 is equal to now tan inverse of omega t by 2. Therefore omega is equal to 2 into tan inverse omega t by 2. So finally we got the omega in terms of analog domain omega. Okay, fine. That is okay. But if you draw the relation between these two, omega t versus omega, then see for the small values of this, for the small values of omega, tan inverse of small angle will give small value will give approximately 0 degrees. So this will give you almost, this is approximately for small omega t, tan inverse omega t by 2 is approximately equal to omega t by 2, same angle. So tan inverse value is equal to same, because tan theta is approximately equal to theta for small angles, similar way. So then this omega is equal to 2 into omega t by 2, I mean approximately. So this is equal to omega t. Okay, that means for small values of omega t, here this will follow a linear relation. Okay, but for the large values of angles, this will follow non-linear. Okay, but as per the theory, we need to have for each omega value, there should be a correspondent omega, digital omega value, correct? So this should have a correspondent omega value. It is there, fine. But after some time, what will happen? there is a small difference. I don't say this is exactly a constant. This is a small difference. There will be a small difference here. So this variation will go very small. Even there is a large change in the omega t, there will be a minor change in the omega value. Then in this case, if I, okay, one more slide I will take. Because of this relation, if I take the magnitude in the analog domain, if I take the magnitude in the analog domain, the magnitude it is pass filter or band pass filter like this. See, the magnitude is same for this range, right? Till this point to this point, it is same only. But when you map into digital domain, this is the digital domain, say omega versus the magnitude mod h of e power j omega. This is omega versus the mod of h of j omega. So this is unlock filter. We have already designed, that is mapping to the digital domain through this transformation. This transformation is omega t versus omega. This is the relation. With this relation, if you transform, what will happen? This just this is the point. I mean, here is the starting point, here is the ending point. Then that means here it will get, this will give you the plot. Of course, with the same magnitude, same length, it will give, because in this duration, the relation is linear. And next point, if you draw it, this is the starting point and this is the ending point. This is the ending point. This is also okay, linear, little bit reduced. Now next is, so if you have the scale, it is better to find it easily. Okay, then this point you do it. And next point, so this became here like this, right? See what happened here. What is the observation from this? That analog filter magnitude and see the width of each band is uniform. But here, after converting into digital domain through this byte transformation, the magnitude is same, okay, but see the bandwidth is reducing. As the at high frequencies, the bandwidth is narrowed. Correct? Understood, Sandhya?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is called wrapping effect. This is called wrapping effect. Wrapping effect. So this is a major problem with this, and this is the effect in the magnitude response. Similar way, you can also draw the plot for the phase. Phase also you can do the same thing. That also you will get the similar kind of effect. Even it is linear in the it is a linear in the analog domain, we'll design the linear filter. But whereas when after converting into this digital domain, this will not be linear. This will go like this exponential form, because this is one-to-one mapping will give this exponential rise. Here also it will be like this. Okay, this is the angle in the this domain, digital domain. This is the angle in analog domain. Okay. Understood? This is the wrapping effect. Sometimes they used to ask for the wrapping effect to explain alone. Please be ready with this explanation. Any doubts in this wrapping effect, you please tell me. I'll clarify your doubt. Sandhya, is it clear? Wrapping effect?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, there is a remedy also in the binary transformation to overcome this wrapping effect. That is called pre-wrapping effect. Pre-wrapping effect. Pre-wrapping or pre-wrapping, you can say. So this is a process of finding the analog frequencies. That means what is the starting point and ending point. If you give, it is very easy to carry that. I mean, in the previous slide, you need to maintain the digital output also the same bandwidth. That is only the problem, right? We know the starting points. Every time you can see the starting points remain same only, but its ending point is not exactly ending that with the same bandwidth as here. Suppose this is a bandwidth 1, 2, same thing, B1, B2, with bandwidth 3 and so on. The same bandwidth, if you can transfer to this, then starting point plus this bandwidth, that much, after that we can end. With respect to of this transformation, we can prolong that till this bandwidth completes, because starting point it is getting stable. After starting, it should be wait till maintain the magnitude till this B2 point. So that way it will give the correct bandwidth as this analog filter. That way we can maintain it. This is called wrapping effect. So in the wrapping effect, we need to find out not only the pass band and the stop band frequency also, we need to find it. That's it. Very simple to say. Starting and ending points. How we can do that? We have already the transformation. Omega is equal to 2 by t into tan omega by 2. This is the formula. Now we can find out the pass band frequency through this formula itself. So from this, for the given omega p, we can find this omega p. And similar way, omega s we can find from the same thing, omega s. Right? That's it. So if you know this is omega p and this is omega s, and that respective omega p and omega s will be already predefined. So even there is a reduction, it is stopped, it understands that it is not end, still I should allow the frequency, I should allow the magnitude till this omega s. That way we can adjust this bandwidth. Understood, Sandhya?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is called pre-wrapping. By this, you can solve the wrapping effect in the Bailey transformation. So by this, we can use this. We can use this transformation not only for the low pass filters but also for the high pass filters. Okay. Now we will see some problems on this. Are you clear with the theory? Shall we go to the problem now? Just one problem. It's a very simple problem only. We do it. So note down the problem. This is substitution problems. All these are. If you know the transformation, simply substitution only. So apply the bilinear transformation. To h of s is equal to 2 by s plus 1 into s plus 2 with t is equal to 1 second, and find h of z. Okay, now so see the solution. Given h of s is equal to 2 by s plus 1 into s plus 2. Now what to do? We need to convert into h object. Here we have already solved it. We need to substitute s is equal to t by 2 by t into 1 minus z inverse by 1 plus z inverse. Wherever s is there, simply substitute this. That's it. Over. So substitute. This is equal to, here t is equal to 1 second. So it is 2 into 1 minus z inverse by 1 plus z inverse, right? Now you substitute in this equation, first equation. It is equal to h of z is equal to, therefore h of z is equal to 2 by s is equal to 2 into 1 minus z inverse by 1 plus z inverse plus 1, the first term, and the second term is 2 into s plus, sorry, 1 minus z inverse by 1 plus z inverse plus 1, sorry, plus 2. Now you simplify this, and that is enough. Therefore h of z is equal to, we get 2 by denominator. If you take LCM, total LCM, top it will get 1 plus z inverse 2 times for the first time, and second term also 2 terms will get 1 plus z inverse, and then the denominator will get 2 into 1 plus 1 minus z inverse plus 1 plus z inverse. This is the first term. The second term is 2 into, so 2 we can take common from here. So 2 out, 1 minus z inverse plus 1 plus z inverse. So here 2 cancel. This will give you 1 plus z inverse whole square divided by here 2 minus 2 z inverse, here 2 minus plus z inverse. So 2 minus 2 z inverse plus z inverse, you will get minus z inverse. So 2 plus 1 3 minus z inverse, first term. Second term is z inverse cancel, so it will give you 2 into 2. Okay, so this is equal to just these two we can make it up. So 0.5 1 plus z inverse whole square divided by, this is 3 minus z inverse. Here you can keep it like that, but always my suggestion is keep in the denominator first coefficient is 1, so take common 3. So 0.5 by 3, how much, Sandhya? 0.5 by 3, 1 plus z power minus 1 whole square divided by 1 minus 1 by 3 z inverse. What is this 0.5 by 3?
36.
Sorry,
0.16.
166 into 1 plus Z inverse whole square divided by 1 minus 0.333 Z power minus 1. This is your problem.